Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll start session. So yesterday discussed about interpreter, compare the differences. Yeah, it was very interesting class yesterday. No doubt. Yes. Yes. So this thing today we'll discuss about features. So yesterday all that basics completed. Now you can understand these things very clearly. Now easy to understand. Okay. So last two classes topics are prerequisites to understand this thing here. Like about ways we discussed, about interpreter discussed, compiler discussed, next exe file, next all the things, next Java depending on both interpreter and compiler, next generation of language, all that basics were discussed. Yes, those basics are very useful. Those are very useful to understand. Yes, these features, a clear topic. Yes, first one is let us see independent platform. Yes, how Java made us independent platform. How Java made us independent platform. Okay, how Java made us independent platform. Okay, yes, how how Java is an independent platform. These are questions here. How Java is independent platform. Okay, yes, yes, let us see. Yes, Lalita. Yeah, last class, your question, last question in the previous class, last question, answer now you can see. Okay, yes, previous class, your question, last question in the previous class. Now can, yes, now you can see that answer, now you can see. Yes, how Java is independent platform, let us see. Yes, before going to this, let us see about exe file. Yes, first of all about exe file. What is exe file? What is exe file? So what is an exe file? Let us see about exe file. Yes, what is an exe file? What is an exe file? Yes, first question is what is an exe file? Yes, general answer. Yes, any trainer, any websites, their answer simply here. Their answer. General any answer is like this. What is exe file means? Exe file is a binary code file. Exe file is a binary code file. Exe file is a binary code file. Yes, it is a system understandable, system understandable language. Okay. Yes, it's a system understandable language. So exe file, what is exe file? Simple answer. Exe file is a binary code file. Exe file is a binary code file. Okay, exe file is a one second. Let me start Linux base. By that time, starting Linux base. Yes, what is an exe file means? Yes, simply anyone says that exe file is a binary code file. Binary code file, it is a system understandable language. Okay, a system understandable language. Next, it is ready to execute. Okay, fine. No, that is what is exactly exe file. Now, exactly what is exe file? Okay, yes, I'll show what is exactly exe file. Practically, you can see. Yes, once you understand exe file, then you can understand independent platform. You can understand independent platform very easily. Yes, what is exe file? Let us see what is an exe file. What is an exe file? Yes, how that exe file generating? ls cd mnraw change to mnraw directory present working directory mnraw ls yes yes remove yes test.to file yes remove yes project file here delete it yes gedit zero test.c file test.c file zero test.c file you can see yes this is C program, right? This is C program has include std IO data. So this is C program. Okay. Here hash include std IO data. Next main program. So this is actually our C program. Okay. Now first compiling C program ls test.c cc hyphen c cc hyphen c test.c. Yet generate one test.o, right? Not test.o. So what is test.o file? Yes, here test.o file this contains binary code for our C program. Binary code for C program. Binary code for test.c. Test.c file contains void main function. Next int a equal to 10, p equal to 20, int c equal to a plus p, next c equal to a minus p like that. Right? All that binary codes. Okay, so compiler converts that whole codes into binary formats. Compiler converts, compiler converts, compiler converts whole codes into binary formats. Compiler simply here, yes, compiler converts whole code into binary format right to one test.to file. So tested.to file contains a binary code for our C program. That's like a fine. Binary code for C program. Okay. Yes, next here. Now creation of exe file cc-o project exe. Exe means project here test.o. Now what happens here? Yes. Yes. Yes, project exe file created. This exe file is a result file, right? This exe file contains parts. This exe file, now this executing, right? We are executing, ready to execute. Yes, project exe, spelling mistake. Yes, fine, right? Now here, how this exe file is creating? This is way of creating exe file, right? ls. So this is creating exe file. So how it's creating exe file? How it's creating exe file? See, at the time of creation of exe file, what happens here? Compiler takes object codes for different kind of things. Object codes nothing but binary codes, just binary codes. Okay. Yes. So compiler taking binary code for your C program test.o plus binary code for stdio data header file. Yes, test.c test.c is include header file, right? Yes, stdio data. For this header file also some binary codes. Header file also developed in C language. stdio data header file that is also developed in C language. Yes, it's also C language, but in the form binary codes. Okay, so your program binary codes plus your C program binary code plus stdio data binary code library binary code plus OS library binary codes. Binaries of OS here. Binaries of OS library. See, previous class we discussed OS contains libraries. OS contains libraries to communicate between application software and hardware components, right? OS contains libraries. OS contains libraries to communicate between application software and hardware components, right? Same exact that library here. OS library. OS library, right? Okay. So at the time of creation of exe file here, at the time of creation of exe file, compiler takes binary code of your program. Next, binary code for C library like stdio data set file and the binary code of OS. By linking all of this things here, generating exe file, project exe file, generating project exe file. Okay, right? So exe file, yes, exe file contains now exe file. So what is exactly exe file? Yes, exe file, yes, exe file contains exe file contains yes binary codes for your program, binary code for program, right? Binary code for program. Okay. Yes, binary code for program, binaries of your program, plus binary codes, binary code for library. Yes, if it is C language, C library, C plus C plus library. Okay, library. Right, okay, binaries of library here, binaries, okay, binary code or binaries. Yes, binaries, already prepared for binaries here, binaries. Yes, binaries of library here. Yes, binaries of library plus, yes, binaries of OS library, binaries of OS library, OS library here, binaries of OS library. This is exe. So finally, exe file contains binary code for C program. Yes, binaries of library here, binaries of, yes, OS library. Suppose for example here, yes, yes, C program, exe file prepared, C program, yes, C program exe file. For example, C program exe file prepared on Windows OS, on Windows OS here. Then yes, exe file contains what here? Yes, exe file contains what? Then exe file contains binary code for C program. Yes, binary code for C program. Yes, next binaries of C library. Next binaries of, yes, Windows OS library. Binaries of Windows OS library. That is finally exe file. Okay. So exe file is linked with OS library. Okay. Yes, exe file. Yes, exe file links with OS library. Exe file links with OS library. Yes, at the time of, yes, at the time of generating generating ex, at the time of generating exe file. Yes, it is a static linking. It is a statically linking. It's a statically linking. This is statically linking. Okay. At the time of creation of exe file itself, at the time of creation of exe file itself, so at the time of creating exe file itself, linking OS library. So this is the statically linking. Okay, not runtime. At the time of generating exe file itself. At the time of generating exe file itself, yes, linking here. Okay, so exe file links with OS library at the time of generating exe file. It's a statically linking. This is called as statically linking. It's a statically linking. Just it's a statically linking, right? So exe file is a exe file. Yes, exe file is a prepared file. Yes, exe file is a prepared. Yes, prepared. Exe file is a prepared file for specific ways. So exe file is a prepared file for specific ways. Okay. Now, fine. Now here, let us take this one here. C program exe file prepared in this way. Okay. Yes. Now this example. C program exe file. C program exe file prepared, and for example here test.exe file, test.exe file, test.exe file. For example, test.exe file prepared on Windows OS. Then yes, then it contains it contains yes, Windows OS library, WinOS library, right? Windows OS library. Okay, test.exe file prepared on Windows OS, then it contains Windows OS library. Fine. Okay. Yes, now here question for you guys. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS, then it contains Windows OS. Okay. Yes. Now, can I run? Can I run? Can I run? Can I run above test.exe file on other operating systems? That's a question. Systems. That is a question. Yes, say yes or no. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS, then it contains Windows OS library. Now question is, can I run? Yes, question is here. Question is, can I run? Yes, can I run about test.exe file on other applications? Answer is yes or no. Yes. Yes or no. What's answer for this? Yes or no. Yes, you guys try to answer it. Of course, I will explain everything. This time asking your idea. Answer is no. Answer is no. Answer is no. Answer is no. Reason. Reason. Yes, exe file is a OS dependent. Exe file is OS dependent. OS dependent. Exe file is OS dependent. Exe file is a OS dependent. Yes, now question is why exe file is OS dependent? Why exe file is OS dependent? Again question here. Why exe file is OS dependent? Yes, again question here. Yes, dependent. Why exe file is OS dependent? What's the reason for this? Why exe file is OS dependent? Yes, for this answer, it contains OS library. That's it. OS library. It contains simple answer. It contains OS library. See this. Test.exe file prepared in Windows OS, then it contains Windows OS library. Windows that is linked with Windows library. The test.exe file linked with Windows library. Okay. Since it contains OS library, is a OS dependent. Okay. Now let me show that very clearly. Yes. Very clear for understanding purpose. Yes, let us take different platforms here. Let us take different platforms. Suppose first let us take Windows platform. Windows platform. Yes. Yes, platform is OS. Windows platform. Windows platform, Linux platform, and yes, Unix platform. Let us take different platforms. Yes, here hardware. 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 See, on top of hardware, yes, OS running, right? So previous classes, this point discussed operating system. Suppose Windows 10 is running. Windows 10, right? Yes, this Windows 10 contains what? Win library. Win library. That Windows 10 contains what? Windows library. Okay, right? Fine. Now, test.exe file is submitted to Windows base. OS is responsible to run the request. Right? OS is responsible. Test.exe file. Test.exe file. Okay, test.exe. Test.exe. It's like a project exe file. Yes. See here, project exe. Okay, project exe file. We are submitting, right? Yes, submitted. So getting output, right? Yes, in case of suppose if you want test name, test also can go. The test exe file, ls. Test is exe file, right? Dot test. Test. The test.exe file submitted. Exe file submitted. Seek a test.exe file. Now get test.exe file. Test.exe file. Test.exe file. Just placing on yes test.exe file, right? Test.exe file. So this test.exe file just placing an Windows base. Placing an Windows base, right? Test.exe file move to Windows base, try to run it here. So when you try to run it here, now test.exe file, this one makes a call to Windows library. Windows library. Makes a call to Windows library. Just makes a call to Windows library. Just makes a call to Windows library. Just makes a call to Windows library. Okay. So test.exe to run it here. Yes, see test.exe file. Seek a test.exe file prepared and Windows base. Prepared and Windows base. Test.exe file prepared and Windows base here. Then it contains Windows library. Windows library that contains Windows library. Now test.exe file moving on to Windows base. After moving on to Windows base, try to run it. When you try to run it here, now test.exe file. This test.exe file makes a call to Windows library. Just a call to Windows library. Yes, it's available. Already available. So already same Same way, right? So already available. Simply call to Windows library. So using that Windows library, communicate with the hardware components. Fine. See, at the time of creation of exe file itself, that Windows library linked with exe file. Yes, it's a statically linking, already linked, right? Not test.exe file. It makes a call to Windows. As for linking, makes a call to Windows library. Calling to Windows library. Yes, it's available. So using that Windows library communicates with the hardware components. Fine. So this is running at yes Windows OS. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS, then links with Windows library. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS, then it links with Windows library. Okay, since linked to Windows library, it makes a call to Windows library. Yes, available, same environment. So the running on same ways is available, fine, it's working here. Okay, now let us take another platform. Let us take another platform here. Windows, another platform. Linux. Let us take Linux base. Linux base. Linux. Linux base. Linux base. Linux base with Linux library. Linux base with Linux library. Okay. Yes. Now same test.exe file. Same the test.exe file. Let us place on Linux base. After placing Linux base here, when you try to run test.exe file, now this test.exe file, yes, it will try to call Windows library because Windows library is a part of exe file, right? Windows library, it's a part of exe, that part of exe already linked. Okay, so test.exe file, yes, it contains Windows OS library, already linked, that OS library already linked. Okay, so you get test.exe file contains Windows library. Since it contains Windows library, it makes a call to Win library. Test.exe file already linked with Windows library. Test.exe file already linked with Windows library. Now it will try to call Windows library, but here it's not available. That Windows library is not available. That Windows library is not available. So you can test.exe file. Yes, it is trying to call Windows library, but it's not available. So library is not matching it, simply fails. Fails. So test.exe file will not work, simply it fails. So that's the reason exe file is a OS dependent. Let us take one more OS here. Suppose another OS. Suppose let us take Unix OS. Let us take Unix OS. Unix OS. Unix OS contains what? Unix library. Unix OS contains Unix library. Same now test.exe file. Same test.exe file here. Not this test.exe file. It will try to call Windows library on Linux Unix OS, but not always. Again fails. Again fails, right? So that's the reason exe file is a OS dependent. So exe file is a OS dependent. So what is exe file? Yes, what is exe file? Simply here answer. So what is an exe file means? What is an exe file means? Simply anyone says that exe file is a binary code file. Yes, it contains a system understandable language. Is a system understandable language ready to execute, right? Generally, anyone says this answer. But exactly what is exe file? Exactly what is exe file? Yes, exe file contains binary code for our program. Suppose if it's C language, C program, C program, .NET CS program, right? Yes, binary code for your C program. Next, binary code for C library and binary code for OS library. Okay, see this. C program exe file prepared on Windows OS. C program exe file prepared on Windows OS. Then that exe file contains binary code for C program, binary code for C library, hash include stdio address, that header file library, plus Windows OS library. So at the time of exe file generating here, at the time of generating exe file, at the time of generating exe file here, yes, exe file itself OS library linking here. Okay, see exe file links with OS library. Okay, exe file, see exe file links with OS library. Exe file links with OS library. At the time of generating exe file, it's a statically linking. It's a statically linking. Okay, so exe file is a prepared file. Yes, exe file is a prepared file for specific OS. That's the reason it's a OS dependent. It's a prepared file for specific OS. Okay, for example, here test.exe file. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS. Test.exe file prepared on Windows OS here. Then it contains Windows library. Then it contains Windows library. Now question is here. Yes, can I run? Can I run about test.exe file on other operations? No. No. Hans is no here. Hans is no. Okay, reason exe file is a OS dependent. exe file is a OS dependent. Hans is exe file is OS dependent. Now immediately question, yes, why exe file is OS dependent? Yes, reason it contains OS library. It contains OS library. For better understanding, explain this example also. Okay, so what test.exe file prepared on Windows OS here. So this test.exe file contains what? Windows library. The test.exe file placed on Windows platform. It's a Windows platform, right? Placed on Windows OS. When you try to run it here, it makes a call to Windows library. Yes, same library available. So here, just using that Windows library, just communicate with the hardware components. Okay, test.exe file. Yes, using that Windows library. Yes, it will try to call Windows library. It will try to call Windows library because linked with Windows library. Yes, try to call Windows library here. Yes, available. Using that Windows library communicates with hardware components. So test.exe file run, it will run with Windows because linked with Windows library. Same test.exe file placed on Linux base, placed on Linux base here. Now it will try to call Windows library, but here is not available. That library is not matching. Library is not matching, simply fails. It fails. Similarly, Unix base fails. So that's the reason. That's the reason here. Exe file is a OS dependent. Now let us come to actual point here. Let us come to Java. Yes, Java. Yes, in Java. Yes, in Java. Yes, after compilation. Yes, Java. After compilation. Yes, after compilation. Yes, after compilation. Yes, after compilation. Yes, result file. Result file. Result file is a dot class file. It's a dot class file. Result file is a dot class file. Dot class file. So result file is a dot class file. Yesterday I showed dot class file, right? Result file is a dot class file. After compilation of Java program, Java C, Java C is a Java compiler. Java compiler checking for all errors. Checking for all errors here. After checking for all errors, if no errors, generating one dot class file. So the dot class file contains binary code file. So what is, sorry, dot class file contains byte code file. It's a byte code file. Okay, after compiling, yes, after compilation, result file is dot class file. Now what is dot class? Now question is here, what is a dot class file? Now question is, what is a dot class file? Okay, so what is a dot class file? What's a dot class file? What's a dot class file? Question is, what's a dot class file? Okay, so what's a dot class file means? This simple answer. 1 second. What is dot class file means? See, anyone, simple answer is here. Anyone says that. Okay, what is dot class file? What is dot class file? Yes, it's a byte code file. Simply, it's a byte code file. It's a byte code file, and it's a, yes, it is a JVM understandable language. JVM understand, not a system understandable. Yes, exe file is a binary code file. Yes, exe file is a binary code file. Binary code. Binary code is system understandable. So exe file is a system understandable language. Exe file is a binary code, is a system understandable. But when come to Java, yes, what is dot class file? Yes, it's a byte code file. It's a JVM understandable language. JVM understandable language. It's a JVM understandable language. It's a JVM understandable language. Okay. Now here, dot class file contains what? Now question is here, exe file contains binary code of your program. Next, binary code for library, binary code for OS library. So exe file contains OS library. So exe file including OS library. What is dot class file? So dot class file. Now question is dot class. Dot class file contains what? Dot class file contains what? So dot class file contains what here? Okay, dot class file contains Java program. Okay, yes, byte code for your Java program. Just byte code, byte code, byte code for Java program, byte code for Java program, not binary code, byte code for your Java program plus, yes, byte code for Java library, That's it. No OS library. Byte code for Java program. Okay, byte code for, yes, byte code for Java program, byte code for your Java program, and byte code for Java library. That's it. Okay. Yes. Here dot class file prepared on anyways. Okay. Dot class file. Yes, dot class file prepared. Dot class file, yes, prepared on anyways. Dot class file prepared anyways here. Anyways, yes, it contains dot class file prepared on anyways here. Yes, it contains only bytecode for Java program and bytecode for Java library. Bytecode for, yes, Java program and bytecode for Java library. That's it here. Okay. So dot class file, yes, don't have dot class file, don't have any OS library. Don't have any OS library. That's it. Okay. Dot class file don't have any OS. Simply plain Java program. Okay. See here, even library also developed in Java. Java library developed in Java. See this. C language library developed in C language. C++ library developed in C++. Java library developed in Java only here. Python library developed in Python only. Like this. Scala library developed in Scala only here. That's it. Okay. So here Java library developed in Java. So you can finally here. So dot class file contains bytecode for Java program and bytecode for Java library, means purely Java program. Dot class file don't have any OS library. Anyways, yes, it's a purely Java program. Purely Java program. Just it's purely Java program. Okay. Purely Java program. There's no OS library here. Just it's a purely Java program. No OS library. No OS library. Okay. Yes. Now let us take tested dot class file. Tested dot class file. Suppose they say tested.java, after compilation result file is tested.class file. Okay, tested.class file. Okay, tested.class file. So what tested.class file prepared on Windows OS. Prepared on Windows OS or yes, Windows OS or Linux OS or Unix OS. Yes, Unix OS. So tested dot class file prepared in Windows space or Linux space or Unix space. It contains only Java program codes. Java library. Okay. Yes, see this. Tested dot class file prepared in Windows space or Linux space, Unix space. OS can be anyone, but it contains only Java program codes and bytecode for Java library, Java program code, Java library. That's it here. So it does not contain any OS library. Purely Java program. It's a purely Java program. Right? Purely Java program. Okay. So dot class file. Dot class file don't have any OS library. It's a purely Java program. Okay. Now let us take same different platforms here. So first Windows platform. Okay. So Windows, let us take Windows platform first. First of all, Windows platform. Okay. Not tested dot class file. Not tested dot class file. Now it's a tested dot class file. Yes. Not tested dot class file. Tested dot class file. Okay. The tested dot class file. So now it's a tested dot class file. Not tested dot class file, just a tested dot class. This tested dot class file. Yes, moving on to Windows space. Here. Tested dot class file, just moving on to Windows space. After moving on to Windows space here, not right to run it here. To run this tested dot class file, this dot class file should be linked with OS library. See, previously we discussed it. Yes, every program has to link with OS library before going to run. Every program has to link with OS library before going to run it. Suppose if it is C language, C++, dot, and those are exe files. At the time of creating exe file itself, Windows library linking, that exe file is already linked with OS library. So no worry with that. So exe file is already linked with OS library here. So direct execution. When come to Java here, what happens here? When come to Java here, yes, when come to Java, tested dot class exe file, not linked with any OS library. Okay, now this tested dot class file has to link with Windows library here. Now to run this tested dot class file has to link with it. See, tested dot class file placed on tested dot class file placed on Windows phase, right? After moving on to Windows phase here, the tested dot class file has to link with Windows library here. Yes, who will link it? Who will link it? Somebody has to link it, right? The tested dot class file, the tested dot class file, the tested dot class file should be linked with Windows library. So who will link it here? Who will link it here? So between tested dot class file, between tested dot class file, between tested dot class file and Windows library, Windows OS here. Now one more layer come to the picture now. One more layer. That layer is a JVM. That layer is a JVM here. Okay, that layer is simply just it's JVM. Just it's a JVM. So JVM will come to the here. JVM comes to right. Okay. Now tested dot class file. So tested dot class file just moving on to Windows OS here. After moving on to Windows OS here, the tested dot class file given to JVM. So JVM taking tested dot class file links with Windows library. So JVM takes care of linking tested dot class to Windows library. So once linked with Windows library, then yes, communicates with the hardware components. See, as a part of JVM, there is a interpreter. Yesterday we discussed Java depending on yes compiler as well as interpreter. See, dot class file generating with the compiler. Yes, compiler task is what? Compiling, checking all the errors, if no errors, generating dot class file. So that dot class file given to JVM, that dot class file given to JVM as a part of JVM, this is interpreter. Interpreter. So interpreter taking the dot class file links with Windows library. Okay, yes, links with Windows library. Once linked with Windows library, it communicates with hardware component. That's it, care. Okay, right? Now let us take another platform here. Let us take another platform. Yes, next Linux platform. Yes, another platform, Linux. Linux platform. Linux platform. Okay. Now same tested dot class file. Now same test dot class file. Same tested dot class file. Same tested dot class file placed on Linux platform. So you can Linux is a Linux base, Linux library. Linux library, Linux library. Okay. Now tested dot transfer moving on to Linux base. On Linux base of this is JVM. That Linux JVM. On Linux base of this JVM, right? There is JVM. So that Linux base JVM is taking tested dot class file. Yes, links to Linux library. Links to Linux library. So once linked with Linux library here, then execution starts and generating or communicates with hardware components. So linking with OS library, half linking, then it communicates with just hardware components. Okay, so JVM takes care of linking here. Yes, your OS tested dot class file is not a prepared file for specific OS. Tested dot class file is not a prepared file for specific OS. See, after moving on to OS here, JVM taking tested dot class file and preparing according to current OS. If OS is Windows OS here, then the tested dot class file links to Windows library here. Once linked to library, preparation is done. Once linked to OS library, preparation is done. Once prepared here, then execution starts. Okay. Now JVM taking your tested dot class file links to Windows library. So once linked with Windows library, preparation is over, then starts running here. Okay, so what happens here? So before going to run, just links with OS library means at runtime. At runtime links with OS library. At runtime, see as a part of JVM, this interpreter. That interpreter taking first statement and links with Windows library, then executes. Next, taking second statement, yes, Java program statement. Okay, so JVM contains one interpreter. That interpreter taking first line and links with Windows library, then executes. Taking second line and links with Windows library, then executes. Third, so line by line, right? Line by line. So line by line, first line linking, okay, then execution. Next, second line linking, then execution. Third line linking, then execution. Fourth line linking, then execution, right? Line by line linking, right? So what is happening at runtime linking? At runtime linking here, okay? At runtime linking, right? So this is called dynamically linking here. This is called as dynamically linking. If it is exe file, it's a statically linking. Exe file is a statically linking, but yes, but here dot class file is a dynamically linking. At runtime linking, dot class file is a Yes, at runtime. Yes, here as a part of JVM, this is interpreter. Yes, how interpreter working? Line by line working, right? Previously we discussed interpreter working line by line. So interpreter takes the first line from your Java code. Interpreter takes the first line from Java code, links with Windows library, then executes. Next, taking second line from the Java code, links with Windows library, taking third line and links with Windows library. That's it. So that library linking at runtime. So it's a dynamically linking. It's a dynamically linking. Same test.class file placed on Linux base. Now on Linux base is JVM. Now Linux JVM taking your test.class file and links to Linux library line by line, then executes. So here also dynamic linking. So it depends on ways that linking takes place. Okay. So at the time of preparing dot class file here, it won't links with OS library. Okay. So tested.class file. Tested.class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. It's not a prepared file. After moving on to OS, dot class file after moving on to OS, then yes, then linking to OS. It's a dynamically linking. So it depends on OS. Depends on OS that linking takes place. Okay. Similarly, let us take one more platform here. Suppose Unix platform. Unix platform. Unix platform, right? Yes, Unix library. Unix based library. Unix platform. Unix based library. Okay. Now Unix based library. Yes. Yes, Unix with Unix library. Now JVM. JVM taking just JVM taking test.class file as links to Unix library. So Unix JVM linking test.class to Unix library. That's it. So every OS is having its own JVM. Yes, Windows is having its own JVM. Yes, Linux is having its own JVM. Unix is having its own JVM. Right? Okay. Yes. Here Windows is having its own JVM. Linux is having its own JVM. Yes, Unix is having its own JVM. Now here doubt. Question is here. Doubt is here. Yes, doubt is here. Here doubt is JVM, is it part of OS? Yes, anyone will get this doubt. As per this my explanation here, everyone will get the same doubt here. JVM, is it part of OS? No. JVM is not a part of OS. JVM is not a part of OS. Then how is JVM getting on Windows OS? Once JDK installed, the JVM generating automatically. So to run Java program, you have to install JDK on Windows OS. To run Java program, JDK you have to install Linux base. Next JDK Linux base. On every base you have to install JDK. On every base you have to install JDK. After installing JDK here, once JDK installed here, is getting JVM also. JVM is a part of JDK. JVM is a part of JDK. So once JDK installed here, the JVM also get installed automatically. So once JDK installed here, JVM also get installed automatically, right? Okay, JVM from the JDK. Okay, fine. So once JDK installed here, JDK install Windows base, so getting JVM automatically. So once JDK install Linux base here, the JVM getting automatically. It's a part of JDK. Okay, fine. Next, one more point here. One more interesting thing here. One more interesting, very interesting point here. See, tested dot class file is independent of platform, right? Java program is independent of platform. Tested dot class file. Java dot class file. Dot class file is independent of platform. Independent of platform means independent of this ways. Independent of ways, right? So dot class file is independent of ways, but JVM is ways dependent. JVM is ways dependent. JVM is a ways dependent. Okay. JVM is a ways dependent. Okay. For Windows is having its own JVM. Linux is having its own JVM. Unix is having its own JVM. JVM is a OS dependent. See, Sunsoft developed separate JVMs for separate different operations. Separate JVM for different operations. For Windows, yes, Windows JVM. Linux JVM. For Unix JVM. So different JVMs for developed for different operations. Okay. Next, one more interesting point. Tested dot class file is a bytecode file, but JVM is exe file. JVM is exe file. C++ exe file. JVM is a C++ exe file. JVM was developed in C++. Yeah, I will explain. Yes, in Java, some program executing behind of Java program, JVM. Behind JVM, C++ code will execute. That I'll show practically. How C++ code is running. Yes, when you submit it in each Java program, so behind of Java program JVM. Yes, behind of JVM, C++ code will run. How that C++ code will run, I'll show practical. With memory map, I'll explain very clearly how C++ code executing. Okay, it's memory map and all this, I'll explain clearly. Including JVM internals, I'll explain. Okay, guys, don't worry. With JVM internals, I'll explain all the programs. Okay, yes. Now here JVM is exe file. JVM is exe file. Okay, JVM is exe file. See, first of all, exe file means OS dependent, right? Yes. Since JVM is exe file, it's OS dependent. Okay. See, dot class file is a bytecode file. Okay, dot class file is a bytecode file. It's independent of OS. Dot class file. Dot class file is a bytecode file. It's independent of OS. But JVM is a exe file, not dot class. Your Java program is a dot class file. Your Java program is a dot class file, and it's independent of OS. But when come to JVM, JVM is not a dot class file. JVM is exe file. JVM is a exe file. Is a OS dependent. Okay. Yes, OS dependent. Here this JVM. Yes, this JVM. Yes, this JVM. Yes, this JVM. Windows based exe file. That means this JVM. Yes, exe file is what Windows library. Yes, Windows JVM contains Windows library. Linux JVM contains Linux library. It's exe file. Yes, exe file. If it is exe file, it contains OS library definitely. If it is exe file, that contains OS library definitely here. Now JVM contains yes OS library. Now Windows JVM contains Windows OS library. So Windows library. So this JVM contains Windows library. So it can talk to Windows OS. That's a simple answer. Okay. Linux JVM is having Linux library. So it can talk to Linux library. Okay. Next Unix library. Unix JVM is having Unix library. Since it's having library, it can talk to Unix library. So here Windows JVM is having knowledge of Windows library. Okay, because already linked with JVM here. Next, Linux JVM is having knowledge of Linux library. Reason already linked with JVM. JVM knows that library here. So this JVM contains Windows library. This JVM contains Linux library. This JVM contains what? Unix library. So JVM already having that library. So it can link with this. Simply it can link. So Windows JVM having knowledge of Windows library here. Next Linux JVM having knowledge of Linux library here. Next Unix JVM having knowledge of Unix library because all are linked. All are linked. So this is about JVM. Okay, fine. 1 second. Now here dot class file is not a prepared file. So dot class file is not a prepared file. After moving on to OS here, JVM prepares according to current OS. That's it. That's the reason Java program is independent of platform. Okay. So what is exe file? Exe file is a prepared file for specific OS. Okay. 1 second. Exe file and dot class file. What's the difference between these two? Yes. This is all interview questions here about exe file. Yes, when you're talking about independent of platform, yes, when you're facing this one here, independent of platform means this kind of questions getting here. Okay, so here first question, how Java program is independent of platform? That's a question. Yes, how to answer that question here? Yes, to answer that question, first of all, explain about exe file, then explain about dot class file. Okay. So once you explain both of this about exe file, about dot class file, immediately they will estimate your knowledge. Okay, this guy is having very good knowledge. Okay, yes, here most of the Java guys they don't know about exe file exactly. Okay, simply everyone thinks that exe file is binary code system understandable language. That's okay, fine. But exactly what is exe file? Exe file linked with OS library. Exe file contains OS library. Yes, if you mention that point here, okay, yes, everyone automatically they can estimate your knowledge, your depth knowledge in Java here. Okay, right? Yes. Now exe file and dot class file. So what's exe file? What's dot class? Differences. Let us see the differences. Exe file and dot class file. What's the difference here? See exe file. First point, exe file. Yes, it is a binary. It is a binary code file. It's a binary code file, right? What is dot class file? Exe file is a binary code file. That's okay. What is dot class file? It is a. What is dot class file? It's a exe file is a binary code file. What is dot class file? It is a byte code file. It's a byte code file. It's a byte code file. It's a byte code file. Fine, it's a byte code file, right? Next is a exe file. Yes, binary code file. Yes, it is a system understandable language. It's system understandable language. It's a system understandable language. Okay, understandable language. Fine. What is byte code? Byte code. It is a byte code file. It is a yes JVM. Yes, right. JVM understandable. It's a JVM understandable. It's a JVM. It's a JVM understandable language. That's it. JVM understandable language. JVM understandable language. JVM understandable language. Okay, right? Yes. Next here. Yes. Next. It contains. Yes, it contains. It contains program code. It contains program code plus next. Yes, library, software library. Suppose C software library or C plus some software library. Here that software. Suppose if it is C language, C software library. Okay. Yes. Next, OS library. This is. Next part is this. It's a purely Java program. Purely Java program. Purely Java program. So this purely Java program. Yes. Don't have any OS library. Don't have any OS library. Next here, exe file. Yes, exe file is a prepared file. For specific OS. Exe file is a prepared file for specific OS. Dot class file. Yes, dot class file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Okay, dot class file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Okay, right? Yes, here exe file. Yes, OS library statically linking. Okay. Yes, OS library. OS library here statically linking with exe file. Okay, OS library statically linking. Okay, so here OS library statically linking with exe file. So when come to this one here, dot class file, OS library dynamically linking, dynamically linking with the dot class file. Dynamically linking with dot class file. Right? Okay. Yes. So here exe file is a prepared file for specific OS. Okay. Yes, already prepared file. So exe file is a already prepared file. Prepared file. Yes, before moving to OS. Exe file is already prepared file. Yes, exe file is a already prepared one. Yes, before moving to OS. What is dot class file here? Dot class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared. Yes, prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Dot class file is not a prepared file. Yes, after moving on to OS. Here. Yes. After moving on to OS here. OS JVM prepares as per current OS. Current OS. So this is difference between exe file dot class file. Okay. See here exe file is already prepared file. Since it's already prepared file, performance then give a better performance than .class file. Okay, yes, exe file, exe file, gives better performance. Yes, exe file gives better performance, better performance, better performance, better performance, better performance than .class file. Okay, region already linked with them. Yes, region already linked. Yes, already linked. Yes, here exe file give exe file. Okay, okay, better performance in place of the exe file executes faster, executes faster, faster than executes faster. Exe file executes faster than .class file. Reason already linked. Okay, yes, here .class file runtime preparation, right? Since .class file preparing at runtime, yes, slowly executing this is compared to exe file here, yes, slowly executing. Yes, since .class file, since .class file, since .class file, .class file, yes, since .class file preparing, yes, preparing, yes, preparing at runtime, preparing at runtime, yes, runtime, yes, runtime. Okay, since dot class file preparing at runtime, yes, runtime, yes, it executes slowly here. It executes, it executes, it executes, executes slowly, slowly, slowly compared to exe file, compared to exe file. Okay, that's it. So exe file is a slowly executing because runtime linking here. Sorry, dot class file slowly executing. Dot class file slowly executing because it's runtime preparation. Exe file is already prepared for direct executes. Direct, but OS dependent, of course. OS dependent. Okay, yes, exe file giving better performance. Okay, exe file fast execution. Dot class file slowly execution. Okay, right? Yes. Next, one more point here. Suppose exe file, yes, exe file, yes, prepared on this Linux base. On this Linux base, C software installed. On this Linux base, C software, yes, in Linux base, already C software installed. I have installed C software. So C program developed and exe file generated. Now same exe file move on to Linux base, other Linux base, directly exe file executes. Again, C software installation not necessary. To run exe file here, that software not necessary. C software not necessary here. But to run .class file, your system must have JDK. Without JDK, .class file will not run. So one more difference here. One more difference. Yes, to run exe file. To run exe file. To run exe file here. To run exe file. Yes, software not necessary here. The software. Yes, that software, the application software to run exe file, that application software to run exe file here, application software, maybe C application software or C plus application software, something like this. To run exe file here, application software not required, to install, Okay. Yes, next to run, yes, to run .class file, to run .class file, JVM requires. To run .class file, JVM requires. For JVM for JDK has to install. To run .class file here, yes, JDK should be installed. JDK should be installed. Okay, JDK should be installed. JDK should be installed. Otherwise, cannot run. To run Java program, you have to install JDK. To run C program exe file, C software not necessary. Once exe file prepared, already prepared file, nothing required. Exe file is ready to execute, nothing required. Exe file is a prepared file, directly execution here. Okay, but .class is not a prepared file. At runtime links with OS library for JVM required. So to run a .class file, JDK should be installed. JDK should be installed on OS. JDK install should be installed on OS. JDK should be installed on OS. Okay. Now JDK is a OS dependent. JDK is a OS dependent. Okay, because reason JVM OS dependent, so obviously JDK also OS dependent. Yes. So when installing JDK for Windows OS, you have to download JDK for Windows OS. JDK for Windows OS. You have to download JDK for Windows OS. Okay. See, JDK for Windows OS. See, JDK. JDK 8 for Windows 64-bit. See, JDK 9 for Windows 64-bit, right? JDK is a OS dependent. Okay. For Linux based Linux JDK you have to install. For Unix based Unix JDK you have to install. Yes, we'll discuss how to set up JDK on Windows based and Linux based is a part of your course. So how to set up Java in your environment, the JDK environment Linux based, that also we'll discuss. I'll explain very clearly. Okay. Yes. See, in job here, my most of the experience on Linux. Most of the times I'll be spending a Linux based. Windows is rare case. Okay, because Hadoop projects and Java projects, most of the times I'll be spending a Linux base. Okay, so Windows also, of course, yes, almost 80% of my time almost on Linux base, just 20% of time on Windows base. Okay, yes. So this is about independent of a difference between dot class file and exe file. The difference. One second, let me copy. Let me play this point also always in document don't show that differences. Java independent of platform portable. The difference. Yes. Exe file versus dot class file. Exe file. Okay. Better. Difference between exe file and a dot class file. And a dot class file. Difference between exe file dot class. The difference. Okay, right? Yes, a document already shared, I think. Okay. See, I have received some emails from the online team. As per emails received from online team, shared software. Yes, let me check today. I'll check with online team here. Okay, online team here. Generally here, who paid fees? Yes, their email ID. Yes, they'll forward me. Online team forward me emails. Who paid fees? As per that, I'll share it. I'll share that here. So yesterday I received some emails. I think yes, 6 to 7 guys paid already here. Maybe 7. I think 7. 7 guys paid here already. That 7 guys, for 7 guys I shared already here. Okay. Not received. Now check with the Google Drive. Aditya. Just to check your Google Drive. Open your Google Drive. Go to Google. Not direct mail here. Go to Google Drive. Yes. You see here. Yes, everyone. Yes. Who paid fee? Yes, they will be receiving this compulsory. Yesterday I shared. Yes, I think 7 to 8 members. Yes, already paid fee here. So for them I have shared. For them I have shared here. Yes, document is downloadable. Document is downloadable, no doubts. Document is downloadable. See here, this is your go to. Yes, first log in into your Gmail. Log in into Gmail. After login into Gmail, go to Google Drive. Go to Google Drive. Go to Google Drive. Yes, in Google Drive here, share it with me. Check it, share it with me. Here you can see. You can see. Go to Google Drive. Yes, everyone. Okay. Yes, everyone. Yes, recording, everyday recording. Yes, now this session is recording. See, already 1 second. 1 second. Yes, your class. Yes, Java. Yes, 7 a.m. recordings. First day, second day, third day, today, fourth day. Yes, after finishing your class, I'll save into this. Next, one more thing, drive also created. Drive also created for your batch, separate drive created. Drive created. Drive created. Drive. Here, this is drive. 7 a.m. drive. But this drive, already shared. This drive, already shared to many guys. Yes, sir. Yes, Aditya, something. Vijayendra Reddy, something. Nitin, Swati Reddy, and others. totally yes. I think around 78 members already shared this drive. Share it with me. Yes, go to share it with me. Yes, in your first login, log into your Gmail. After login into Gmail, here log into Gmail. Okay. Yes. Log into Gmail. Log into Gmail. Go to Google Drive. Go to Google Drive. Yes, in Google Drive here. Yes, here. Yes, share it with me. In Google Drive, share it. There you can see. Yes, all the recordings. Okay, documents not received. Yes, okay. Today I'll share it. Let me check it. Today I'll share it. If document is pending, today I'll share it. Okay, recordings were shared already here. So documents, Aditya, today I'll share the document. Don't worry. Document today I'll share it. Okay. So here, this online team, yes, they will forward emails who paid fee. For them, I'll be sharing everything. Okay. Yes, you guys, if still anyone pending is there, just you pay the fees. My request, pay the fees. See, I'm the guarantee for you. I'm the guarantee. Okay. Yes, you can't find this type of expression in the industry. Okay. I am more than industry. No trainer will give this much of knowledge. I'm sure. No trainer. Okay, I'm more than industry. Even developers also. I am more than industry. No developer have this much of knowledge. Even no trainer have this much of knowledge. I am more than the all trainers and all developers. More than the industry. Okay. Yes, more than industry here. Yes, I am guarantee for your guys. Okay. Yes, nowhere, no chance. Okay. Yes, I think since the last 3-4 days, my way of explanation you observed already here. Since last 3-4 days, my way of explanation you understand here. So based on that, you can judge me. You can judge it here. The way of explanation tells the trainer is having real-time experience or not. The way of explanation tells trainer is having real-time experience or not. So you can this is see this topic difference between exfl dot plus help. Okay. At this point, nobody will explain 100%. I'm sure this is. I'm sure. Next, what is happening exfl? Yes, at the time of creating exfl on Linux phase. On Linux phase, I have created exfl shoulder practically shows. Okay. Yes, in my system, every setup is there because it's my working system. Okay. See that no trainer will explain on Linux phase, right? They will not create ex. They don't know how to create exfl, but even don't know what is exfl. Okay, even they don't know about C programming, nothing. Just only directly, just learning Java and teaching. That's it. Just learning Java and teaching here. Okay, most of the trainers just learning Java somewhere and teaching. That's it. They are not working professional. Okay, yes, I'm working as less. Yes, working as less and teaching here. Okay, so here I'm guarantee for you. I'm guarantee for you. 100% more than industry can expect. Okay, yes, you can expect any extent of any kind of things. Yes, if not covered any topic, just you can ask me. I will cover it. Okay. Yes, beyond of our syllabus. If anyone covering topic here, just you ask me. I'll cover it. Okay. Fine. Yes. So please finish your yes payments today here. So all is I'll send the software and the next this class document and everything. I'll send it. Okay. Yes. Yes, download from the Google Drive. Don't download from the your Gmail here. Don't download from the yes. See softwares. Suppose receiving email. Suppose Gmail. Yes, yes. You will receive mail here, but don't download from the email. If you try to download from the email, he will ask for the permissions. Don't directly from the email here. So go to drive. From the drive directly can download it. Go to drive here. Yes, in drive you can see here, this see this like this in drive. Yes, you can see like this core java. Yes, see this is jdk8. Now initially starting jdk, next jdk9 also. First I'll share jdk8 here, next I'll share jdk9 also. So here I'm using both jdk8 and jdk9. jdk8 and jdk9 both. Okay, in our office we are using JDK9 right now. Currently projects are developing in JDK9. JDK9. Okay, right? Next, after finishing 8 and 9, next we'll go for 11, 13. JDK 11 and 13 features also we'll discuss. Okay. JDK 8, first starting with 8, next moving to 9, next moving to 11, and finally 13 also we'll discuss. Okay, fine. Yes. So today I'll share all of this. Today I'll share it. Okay. So this is about independent platform. Independent platform, right? Next, portability, whoops language, scalability. Okay. Yes. Yeah. This for this one, just half an hour is enough. Okay. In Monday class we'll discuss. Okay. So in Monday class, yes, topic is Java installation. Just yes, portability, whoops language. Just matter of half an hour. First half an hour in Monday class. First half an hour I'll explain this one here. Next 1 hour installation and how to write first Java program. So Monday starting. Yes, Monday. Yes, one second. And let me check your doubts also. Okay, let me talk first. Let me finish. Let me finish from my side. Okay. So Monday, I'm not stopping class. Wait. Time is there. Still time is there. So Monday, installing Java. How to install Java. Next, how to set up Eclipse. How to write the Java application step by step. Like creating workspace, creating projects, next creating package, next creating class, and there are some step by step explanations here. Monday, I'll start Java programming. So Monday starting Java programming. Okay. Yes. 1 second. Yes. Let me check your doubts here. Yes, sir. Yes. Is there a recorded session for the yes daily class? Recorded session is there. Yes. Diksha. Yes. Recordings are there. I'll share with you. That is okay. Shared with this is the recordings. Last 3 sessions and today's sessions also I'll upload here. I'll share this drive link. Share. I'll share this link. Okay, I'll share to your Gmail. Okay. Yes. The thing is, I should receive your emails from the online team. Once received from online team, I'll share it. Okay. Yes. Next, Aditya. Okay, fine. Yes. Yes. In Java exe file generating for every state. No. In Java, no exe file. Java interpreter. What happens here? Java interpreter takes bytecode, converts into binary code, links to OS library. Line by line converting to binary code, links to OS library, then execution. No exe file. The JVM won't generate exe file. Okay, Java exe file generate for every statement. Yes, not file generation. That exe code generates. Okay, yes, is not the file here. For every line, for every statement, separate code generates here. Every statement, first statement, bytecodes in from the bytecode file as the JVM interpreter taking first statement, converting to binary code and links to OS library. Next, second statement converts into binary code, links to OS library. Third statement converts into binary code, links to OS library. So runtime linking, that is. So for every statement that exe code generates, but not file. Exe code generates. Just the code generates links with OS library. I think clear, right? I think clear. Yes, is it clear? Yeah. Here, that's all about this. Yes, yeah, that's all. Yes, solid time is almost 8:25. Yes, I will continue on Monday. That's all for today. So Monday, starting Java programming. Yes, I will enter into Java programming, start Java programming. So here like Java setup, Eclipse setup. After start Java programming. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today. Yes, today I'll share documents. I'll take all of your emails from the online team. I'll share the document here. Just read the document here. Yes, Sunday you have the time. Sunday, try to utilize this here. Read these documents. The basics. Read all these basics. Read these basics. Just you go through that basics here. All that basics about interpreter and compiler and all that basics. Till now, whatever discussed, everything is there in document here. All of them. Okay. Yes, everything is there here. Exe file dot class file. Yes, all these concepts here. Just you go through that. Okay. Yes. 1 second. 1 second. Just wait for a minute. D drive. Java. Yes. 1 second. Yeah, it's there. Okay, fine. Yes. Yes, this one I'll share it. Yes, updated on. Yes, 29th May. Updated. Yes, this document will be same here. 29th May updated here. Yes, sir. Google Drive, Java, Google Drive. Yeah, this is deleting from the drive. Yes, upload files. Upload Java. 29th uploaded. Yes, uploaded. Yes, I'll share this one. Right? Yeah. So thank you guys. Yes, see you on Monday. Yes, have a great weekend. Yeah, both document software. Both I'll share it. Both I'll share it.